Today I want to talk a little bit about how normal life is really the opposite of spiritual life, or physical life is the opposite of spiritual life. Because in physical life, most people want to put down roots. They want to have a place to call home, a safe place that they can grow and stay in without having to move. And recently, we have had to do quite a bit of moving in our physical life, and it made me reflect a little bit on this idea that we long for a home, a solid place to stay in our physical life, but the opposite is true in spiritual life. In spiritual life, if we stay in the same place, it's stagnant. It's dull. You don't grow. You don't become better. You have to always move. You have to always keep going. Or what we end up with is the church mentality, where you go to the church on Sunday or on Saturday, whenever, and that's your spiritual life, and the rest of the week is yours, your physical life. That's what we end up with. We end up with a dull, pale, not even a shadow or a reflection of spiritual reality. So while we want to put down roots and create a stable home for ourselves in the physical sense, we don't want the same thing in the spiritual sense. We want to keep pushing, keep moving forward, never stopping, never getting comfortable. Because when we get comfortable, bad things happen. When we get comfortable, we take a step backwards. So the point is that we should never be comfortable. Did Jesus ever stop his ministry? Did he ever stop? No, he always went forward. He always moved. No matter if people said, don't go here or don't go there or go over here and hide. He always went forward. He never stopped. He never backed off. And that's how we have to be spiritually. We have to think the opposite of our natural life. If our natural life says to stay in one place, then the opposite is true for your spiritual life. You need to push forward. You need to go to that next level. So I think it's something important to think about and something important to practice. Because too often we listen to these things, these messages, or we watch these messages from teachers on TV or on the internet, and we say, oh, that's a good idea. But we don't practice it. We don't ever do it. So try it. Try it. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you could always go higher. You could always go to another level. There will always be another level. There will always be, until we are face to face with our Maker. So never just settle. Going to church on Sunday, listening to a nice message, singing some songs, that's settling. That's not progressing. That's not pushing forward. Our faith should be exciting. Our faith should never be boring, should never be dull. Our faith in God should always be exciting and new and adventurous. And we should always be pushing forward, not staying in the same place, not putting down roots in the natural sense, not being in a safe, comfortable place, but always, always, always looking for the next thing, making our goal for the next thing. Because as soon as we stop that, we take a step back. We're falling back. We're falling into a rut that all of humanity, all of Christian humanity seems to be in at the moment. A rut of church and life. And how most of us view these things separately. Religion and your regular life, or spirituality and your regular life, that these are two separate things. So we need to practice. To become better at something, you have to do it. So you might try something, you might try to push forward and fall on your face. But the trying is what matters, because you learn, and then you pick up and you try it again. You don't fall back into what's comfortable. You pick it up and try it again. You will always know if you're on the right path if you're not comfortable spiritually. You should always be in a state of total discomfort, complete dissatisfaction. If you're satisfied, then you're nowhere. You have to be in a place where you're not satisfied, and you have to push out of that to the next point where you're still not satisfied. And you push out of that to the next point where you're still not satisfied. Because we can never be satisfied spiritually until we're face to face with Christ. So it's a process that never stops. And that's the point of our ministry here, is that we want to evoke a change in people where they understand that faith never stops. There's not a line between faith and life. That it's a constant process. Whether it's church or prayer or worship, it's constant. It's not a thing that starts and stops. It's a constant state of being. And that's our main goal in this ministry, is to promote the constant state of being a Christian, not Sunday Christians, not 2-day-a-week Christians, or 50% Christians, but every minute of every day we're living that process. We're pushing forward, we're getting out of our comfort zone, we're getting out of our rut, we're always moving forward, and we're never satisfied with where we are spiritually. That is the point where you know you're on the right path.